S.R. Sotolongo presents The Ballad of Abigail Lambert, read by the author.
Chapter 1. It can't be much further, she assured herself. The soles of Abigail's feet were screaming at her. She'd gotten turned around, but she was on the right track now. At least, she was fairly certain she was. It had been an hours-long trek in the dark through this dense thicket, led by nothing other than the light of her lantern. A cool breeze sent a chill down to her toes. She wrapped her duster around herself as tightly as she could. The cold had sprung up on her tonight, but Abigail Lambert prayed she wouldn't have to endure it for much longer. The Eastwood train line she was hoping to find buried somewhere behind these trees was due to have a train roll over its rails any minute now, and she needed to beat the iron beast there. She couldn't afford to mess this one up. Not again. The beauty of tonight's plan was in its simplicity. All it would demand of her was, ostensibly, to do absolutely nothing. The train would take care of everything. She just had to make sure she arrived early enough to meet it. Once she got to the tracks, she figured, there was almost nothing she could do to ruin this attempt that she'd done all the others. It wasn't that she couldn't go through with it. She'd seen every attempt through to its conclusion, and somehow she'd still managed to fail every time. Ropes that could wrangle the strongest mare would snap under the weight of her thrashing. Rifles that could shoot the scales off a snake from 100 yards away would jam the moment they were aimed in her direction. She blamed herself in the aftermath of each attempt, and by now she'd simply lost count of how many times she'd even tried. It's not like that fact mattered much to her. Not much did these days. She only needed to be successful once, and tonight would be that night. She arrived at a break in the tree line to discover the tracks. She laid her lantern down beside the tracks and laid down with her back to the planks. She stared at the night sky, filled with stars but seeing only the darkness between them, when it occurred to her that in this orientation, the train was liable to roll right over her, and this entire trek would have been for naught. She laid herself perpendicular to the tracks, the frigid steel rail sending a shiver through her whole body when she laid her neck down upon it. She looked to her left, and then to her right, wondering if she wanted to face the train once it arrived. It was to her right that she spotted one of nature's curiosities, a lone flower, stalk standing tall as it stretched toward the sky. It grew out from beneath a crack in a pile of rocks just beside the tracks. Her attention drifted to the caterpillar as it slithered up the stalk. Just beyond it, she could see light from the train cutting through the trees up ahead. The rails tickled her from underneath, vibrating with the promise of her coming absolution. The train sped.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?